I've also been reflecting today, and I just wanted to say a super huge thank you to anyone who's been supporting us, following us, watching our videos this entire time. If it wasn't for you, quite honestly, like, we wouldn't have been able to build up that revenue on YouTube in order to get specialist therapy. I know there's going to be a video coming, but just to say, it's been incredible to live my life without the DID, without the trauma, without living by trauma. It's been incredible, and it's truly changed my life. And I'm just forever grateful. So thank you for every click, every watch, everything that you've done to support us through this entire time, because it's truly changed my life. It gave me that opportunity to change my life. And I don't know how I would have afforded it otherwise, and I know how grateful I am, and I truly do understand how privileged I am. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have, the financial backing to improve their life in such a way, or to gain the specific help and private therapy that they need. But I can't tell you how much I'm loving just living life at the moment. Just getting used to not having trauma control my life anymore. As somebody very kindly DM'd us and said, I am now thriving, not just surviving. And I totally believe that. For the first time in my life, I'm no longer in survival mode, and that's all thanks to all the support from you, because if it wasn't for you, I would have never been able to have the therapy that I've had. So again, just a big thank you to all of you. Thank you so much. My plant's attacking me. Sorry. Hi puzzles and pieces, this is Jessica from Multiplicity&Me, giving you a very different episode of living life with DID. So it has been a really long time, obviously, since we uploaded. A lot has gone on since then. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll probably know a little bit about what's been going on. But this video, I hope, will be taken as a positive thing. I know there's going to be lots of mixed emotions about it. I totally understand that, but I'm amazingly happy, and I want to tell you guys all about it. So I've tried to write this down like a million times, because there's so many ways I want to word this, and it's tricky. So basically, I'm happy to report that I would consider myself now as like in final fusion. And if you don't know, final fusion is basically kind of like end stage recovery for DID. It's a recovery option. So you've got the option of functional multiplicity, which is where you still live as multiple, but you just don't have the sort of dissociative barriers between you anymore. You don't have sort of PTSD symptoms, or you go the full hog, and it kind of means that all of you get reconnected into just one being. And that's exactly where I'm at right now. Also, that's why I took so long to kind of make a video about it, because it still doesn't feel real. Every day I wake up and I think, oh my gosh, today is the day that I'm going to fall apart again. Today is the day that all this trauma is going to come back. Today is the day that things are going to go wrong again. And it hasn't yet. I'm still kind of flippy-flopping between I and we. I feel more than the I that I previously felt, but I don't feel really like a we. So it's really hard to navigate what I'm supposed to be saying, if that makes sense. I'm still learning what the new I feels like. So you've got Jess originally that you would have met, and this is like Jess 2.0. This is all of us right now as one. This is all of the parts, all of the alters, all of the personalities that you've met over the last 10 years as one. So I just kind of want to tell you guys the story of how we ended up where we are. I've been trying to find a best way to visualize it when I clocked my eldest daughter mixing her Play-Doh and her paints together to kind of make this really gross brown colour. I'm not really selling it well, am I? But it does start that way. Like, you have your separate colours, you have your parts, your ulcers. They're all very separate. As you move through integration which is on a spectrum, if you can imagine. So integration is the opposite of dissociation, essentially. So as you move through healing in general, as you communicate, as you cooperate, as you get to know your system, all of those things, you know, the colors move closer together. Integration is kind of a spectrum. You need to integrate to recover to any degree, because that's the opposite of dissociation. So you're moving barriers closer together, okay? You're moving, you know, you're all moving together, and the more you understand and learn about each other, that's integration to some degree. Full integration is final fusion, but we're not talking about full integration, we're just talking about the spectrum of integration. And again, you can find some further links and stuff on past videos that we've done before. Hey Evie, can I ask you to do me a favour?
No.
Evie?
Yeah?
Can I ask you to do me a little favour? Yeah. My little sausage, look. Can you mix all those colours together?
Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Hold the paper and mix them all together. What colour do they make? Suddenly, you then have a spectrum of colour, right? You've got less gaps between you. Kind of have more of an idea of what each colour spectrum is like.
Rainbow.
A rainbow. Did we make a new colour?
Yeah.
Keep going forward. They're all mixed together. That's kind of how I would consider functional multiplicity. And then at the end, if you keep mixing, you get a lovely brown colour, which is where I'm at.
Oh.
Oh, what's up?
It's brown.
Oh, it is brown. Oh, well. Ta-da!
I like that colour.
Oh, so that one colour has lots of other colours in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Black, peach, and yellow and white.
Nice.
Blue, green and pink and blue and red.
Perfect. Well done. Thank you, Evie.
And yellow.
And that probably sounds really bizarre, but I am so excited to be so boring. A boring brown. Because look at the cool colours that made that colour. Do you know what I mean? All of that is now within me as one. And that has been mind-blowing. So the separation between the colours has gone, but all the colours technically are still there, right? They all made that colour. Nobody's gone. And this goes back to a video that Ollie did previously about alters not dying. None of us have died. None of us have gone. None of us... We're all still very much here. It's weird and a little scary, but it's really exciting, and it's something that we're really looking forward to continuing and exploring. I also get to be part of everything we say and do at all times. But will I miss the individuality of me and my parents and Uncle Jake? Like, yeah, that feels scary. I think that whole idea of not being separate is scary. Like I said, there's safety in separation. But then I've got to remember, again, we don't disappear. We don't die. We will all still be there. We just won't be as noticeable as we are anymore. We won't be as distinct. We'll go by one name. Do you know what I mean? And we'll learn to navigate life as the blueprint of us that never came to be. I guess we're going ahead with this for a few reasons. She doesn't want her abuser to have any more power over her. You know, like, in terms of being multiple. Wouldn't it be good if we were no longer multiple and we could finally recover fully from what that person put us through? But again, like, everyone's reasons are different. Some people don't want to final fuse, and that's totally cool, and that also needs to be respected. Like, I cannot highlight that enough. Just because we're doing it doesn't mean that it's right for everyone. I thought fusion would be much slower for us. I really did. I thought it would just take this forever process, and we'd have these fusions like Jamie and Ed become Jed, and we'd have to like draw a whole new picture for this person, and it just didn't work like that. It wasn't like that for us. It was just kind of like somebody lifted up the final walls between us all, and we just bobbed, and that was it, you know. But it took a while to kind of get that as a normality, if that makes sense, to not live in our separation. And so you may remember from the video, gosh, that I shared about recovering memories, kind of remembering parts of my childhood. That was the catalyst, I think. It was kind of like somebody gave the final jigsaw piece to put into this puzzle, and everything just started to make sense. Everything, where every single parts of our origins came from, you know, why everyone was made the way they were, you know, the kind of the beginning of their time, my time as an individual. And yeah, it just kind of went really quickly from there. And again, I didn't want to call it too early, But it's been a year now since I've had any PTSD symptoms, any. How amazing is that? It's incredible to me. It's something, again, I never could have imagined, I never could have dreamed of, and yet here I am. Whether you choose to work towards becoming a tight little rainbow of colours, or whether you want to become a singular colour made up of all of you, it really is an individual choice and nobody should shame you for that. We just naturally started coming together, and it honestly just felt wrong to stop it happening. And that's when things rapidly began to shift for us. It happened a lot quicker than we'd expected. Specialist treatment for just 1 year with the CTAD Clinic. Just 1 year was the final untangling we needed. So we've done a lot of trauma treatment within the NHS, sought private therapy before, lots of sort of different bits and pieces, but that was certainly the best thing that's ever happened to us. It was incredible, and I'm incredibly privileged to have had that opportunity too. And it's surreal, honestly, like things feel too good and I'm genuinely so fearful that this could be undone. But with each day, it feels a little bit more certain that life is here to stay. You know, again, part of the reason that I didn't want to necessarily announce it is because I knew that I had kind of some trauma or potential trauma coming up in terms of childbirth. I had another baby girl. She's brilliant. But I'm so grateful to say that, you know, I wasn't traumatized during my childbirth. The recovery was okay. And yeah, my mental health wasn't affected either in the aftermath. So, yay, gold stars. So I kind of had in my head, you know, if any time was the time to undo the progress, it would have been then. But thankfully it wasn't. And that's the thing as well. I get asked a lot about, can it be undone? Can you split again? Yes, is the answer. Apparently so. You know, again, it's a defense mechanism at the end of the day. It's a coping strategy. It's something that your mind has learned. And I guess in a way it's going to kind of require that maintenance to hone in on those skills that you've learned, those resilience tips and hints and way of living to not fall back on dissociation again, to keep yourself grounded, but it does get easier. Every day gets easier. So yeah, fingers crossed going ahead. I hope that we never experience a trauma, another one, but if we do, then we'll know what to do about it. And I could just literally talk about this forever. I'm trying to navigate it down, but I think this is going to be quite a long video. Before this, we had no idea that we were kind of pieces of a puzzle. We always felt very 3D, very whole. So somebody saying, well, you can be more whole than you already are, just felt really alien to us. It was like, well, how? Because I'm already a 3D person. You know, how could we possibly be more than me? But it was actually when we met Carol in spring, a few years ago now, good few years ago now, and she described it to us, because that was always a question. It was like, how can we be any more than we already are? And she was like, well, it's kind of like running like in a hotel room. You're separated, you have to kind of run between rooms and knock for the next person to come out and deal with stuff. But now it's more like we've become a home. Everybody lives there. Everyone's inside it. There's no separation. It's just our house, our mind, our body. We were created and separated by the experiences of trauma and the ways that we learned to cope being in those individual states. It's an incredible defense mechanism that allowed us to function as long as we did. Without those experiences, no doubt, we would not be the person that we are today. You know, even though I say, well, now technically we're the person that we should have been prior to the trauma happening, not in the same way. You know, our experiences have certainly shaped who we are right now. You know, DID is essentially this incredible defense mechanism that says, I am not the person that trauma happened to. I am Jamie or I am Ollie, and therefore I can't be hurt because I wasn't the one that was hurt. You know, this isn't a conscious thing that happens. This is just something our mind automatically does. Our mind protected us by creating walls within itself, and that is like mind-blowing. I've just been learning to live now, I guess, with this new self, and that's been amazing. You know, my memory is no longer like Swiss cheese. I don't have holes in my day. I can't believe how normalized it was. I can't believe that I live my life every day. I look back now and I'm like, how did I juggle so much? How did I do so much? The days now are so much longer, and I think this is it. This is why I've been so excited, and I guess I've been so offline. I've really deprioritized being online because I've just been living my offline life. I've just been really enjoying everything that, you know, post DID has been for me. I've just been learning to appreciate each day without trauma dictating every day of my life. You know, no more dissociative barriers and identity confusion. means that life has now been seamless in the way that I function. And this means I can make every minute of my daughter's growing up. Time is longer now, the days are so much longer than they were before. I no longer have Swiss cheese for my memory. My recall is still rubbish and probably always will be, but there are no more holes in my day. Time is so precious, and I've even spent time grieving, I think, over the sort of 25-ish years since the trauma kind of happened, of all the time that I've lost. And it's unbelievably simpler to what it was before. And I look back and I think to myself, oh my God, how did I manage? Like, it is genuinely mind-blowing to me. We also appreciate that, you know, right now for me, it feels like a time to celebrate. It feels like a time to be like, oh my God, look, this is amazing. We understand that the followers that have gotten to know us as separate selves may feel a bit upset about that. They may miss that separation, because after all, you've known us as individuals for years. Again, to reiterate that none of us are gone. We're all part now of this Jess 2.0. We're free of PTSD, free from trauma, free of needing to shut down and put up barriers just to cope with the day-to-day life. We all come together to make a not so new yet hopefully familiar person. So it is unlikely that you'll see us separated again going forward as we continue kind of our journey, I guess, of learning to live with not DID, live with kind of this normal life being a brown, and that's fine. We understand that that may be boring to watch on YouTube, and you know, talk about some other stuff that we want to talk about, but we hope that you guys will stay for a little bit longer, and we hope that you've appreciated watching our recovery journey over the past like 11 years. It's just been wild. And none of this is to say either that final fusion for every system is right. Functional multiplicity is also a wonderful choice and just as valid. And again, we're immensely grateful to all of you who have helped us grow our channel, who have watched every video, who have liked and shared and subscribed, because again, without your support, our recovery would not have been possible. You know, we had that privilege, and we've been successful in getting here now at the age of 30, and it's not something I expected to be anywhere near to by this point. So I expected to live my life, pretty much the rest of my life, with trauma controlling, like pulling the strings. And now I'm not. Now it's me learning to maneuver kind of my own puppet, and that's incredible. Again, I just want to pass on how grateful I am, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have had access to recover and make the most of not only my life, our life, but also my children's lives as well. Watching them grow up and experiencing every moment and every joy purely just in their existence, without missing a moment. Like, that's so amazing. And don't forget, whether or not you have DID, each part of you deserves self-love, self-care and compassion. Hi, also supporting DID creators, I'm giving a shout out to Cosmo Sense, who do, oh my gosh, the most delicious wax melts. Thank you so much for sending them to us. Support DID creators. You can find the information in the links in the description below. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you guys, see you soon.